Hey, I'm doing I think this will be the final list review for Saturday. This is for perhaps the most experienced bolt action player we have in Denmark. It's Steen, who has been playing since, as far as I know, first edition, and is one of the guys who's been like a staple of the community ever since forever here in Denmark. So he's like way more experienced than me. He's not a competitive player as such. He is what I would term a casual player, but he does know how to play well. His experience really shows. Um, and he's made a 1,000 point Soviet list. He often plays Soviets, not exclusively. Being such an experienced player, he has several armies and several very nice tables of terrain as well. So Steen is bringing a second lieutenant with an extra man. He's building him regular. So this again tells me that Steen knows what he's doing, because you only do that if you have a plan with your lieutenant, right? I normally don't, so I just pay the cheapest lieutenant I can get. Steen buys an expensive one and put an extra dudes in it. That means that he has a plan. That's how I read that. An inexperienced commissar with an extra man, again, that makes them more survivable. It makes that small team more. One, it makes it a small team. Two, it makes it more killy as well. A Comsomolet, which is that armored carrier where you sit on the back in this open topped sort of seat. It's pretty crap in real life. In bolt action, it's pretty okay. It's a 7+ armored carrier. What's not to like? And it actually has an LMG, front-facing LMG as well, so it can do some darker. The 12-man free squad, riflemen, green anti-tank grenades, the whole unit, and then an assault engineer squad, veterans, 5 SMGs, a Panzerfaust, and a flamethrower. This is killy. This can really mess up stuff. And the best thing you can ever experience is when you throw that in where there's both a tank or an armored car of some sort and an infantry unit, and you flame the infantry unit, you SMG the infantry unit, and they die. And then you shoot the Panzerfaust into the armored car and it explodes, killing two units with one attack dice. That's the best. It's a really, really hard unit. He has 6 men in the unit. They are expensive, but they are really, really good. Then he buys a BA-20. Many of the Soviet players here in Denmark does that. BA-20 with a flamethrower turret. It makes it really killy, and it makes it a threat to most things in bolt action. So yeah, that's also good. Then he has a white scout car, and I'm guessing that this is for one of his assault engineer squads, because he actually has 2 of those. So the white scout car is maybe not the best ever. It's kind of expensive. It costs almost the same as a steward, or well, it's basically the same as the BA-20, right? But it's open topped. It's 7+ armor, but it has an HMG and 2 MMGs. So that's quite a lot of shots, and you can split fire with those. So it's quite a lot of shots pumping out, and it's really good for anti-infantry and anti-soft-skinned duty. And since it can, if this has been bought not as an armored car, which I guess it's not because he has the BA-20, so it's bought as a transport, then you can also transport troops, assault engineers. So this makes it a really hard unit that can push up, can unload its Death Star infantry, and then start just darkening the shit out of everything that's close by. Really good. Another assault engineer squad, 5 SMGs, 2 Panzerfausts in this one. I guess he had a few extras, and the flamethrower. So I think that at least one of these assault engineers units should be in that white scout car. At least one of them. Then he has his big spender is the IS 152. So that's the large tank, the large Soviet tank. Now, I would normally say that large tanks are not worth the points, and this one costs almost 300 points. But I have seen Steen use this, and he knows how to use it. And because most people are following the meta where large tanks are not really in it, they're not prepared for it. So, and I mean, it has a heavy howitzer. It's a 10 plus tank. Most bazookas and anti-tank weapons will have no chance against this tank. It is invulnerable. Steen can drive it into the center of the table and just start smashing face. This is a Death Star unit that very few things in the game can actually hurt. And very few things in the meta, fewer things in the meta can hurt. So yeah, I am actually quite terrified of that one tank. I think if I face it, I'm going to have to try and pin it down and make sure that it doesn't do too much, because a heavy howitzer will delete units, and this tank is almost indeletable itself, so really, really hard. And then he fleshes out his list with more infantry to take objectives. Cheap infantry, he has 2 tank hunters, they're veteran, they have SMGs and a Panzerfaust. They're pretty good. Set them on an objective in cover, in hard cover. It's pretty difficult to get them off. They're a small team, they go down. They're dangerous to everything that moves around. Pretty good. And then 2 large Strafbat units of 12 men. You can make these extremely cheap, and Steen has done so. He's made them shirkers, which means that you get 12 men for 27 points. 27. That is not very much to pay for 12 men. So really, really worth it. Especially if you're just going to sit those on objectives and they're not going to move all game, which is how I often see them used. Very, very good list. I am terrified of that tank, Steen. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Cheers.